Hi there. In this video, we'll be covering the process of writing a book. Writing a book is tough. It's a challenge. I've been there. As someone who's written or ghostwritten 30 books, I know how tough it can be, and I want to empower you with the tools in this video. These are the tips you need to know to finish your book. By the end of this video, you will learn the importance of purpose, how to find your writing flow, and how to cut out distractions and get the words onto the page. And stay tuned until the end of the video for an opportunity I really think you're going to enjoy. Let's dive in. The process of writing a book doesn't start with writing at all. It starts with something inside. It's about your purpose. What is your purpose for writing this book? What's driving you? What's fueling you? What's keeping you up at night? What's forcing you to wake up in a cold sweat? These are the things that are going to keep you motivated to driving further with this book and want to keep going. Want to face all the challenges ahead. This is what's driven you to check out this video in the first place. There's clearly something that you're interested in learning. You're interested in going deeper and you're interested in getting it right. I know how big of a learning curve it is to write a book. I've been there myself. Like, it's overwhelming, the learning curve. There's so much you need to know. And that's why purpose is going to help you. It's going to help you face those obstacles. It's going to help you slay the dragon. It's going to help you keep going when every instinct and fiber in your being is saying give up and quit because this is too hard. You want to keep going and you want to have a reason to keep going. So there's a reason inside of you that you want to write this book, whether it's a family project, whether it's to grow your business, whether it's platform, whether it's speaking engagements, whether it's the desire to tell a story. It could be anything. You just need to have a good reason, a good deep reason for wanting to keep going, because this is a challenge and it's going to challenge you at every turn. Now that we figured that out, everything gets a little bit easier. The idea is next. What do you want to write about? You have to pick a book topic and you want it to be unique and different. You want it to be separate from everything else that's out there. You want it to be unlike other books and other created pieces. How does your book stand out? What makes it different? Having that idea locked in is really going to help to make sure that your book stands out and it's different. You want your book to be a little bit different than everything else that's out there, and you're going to have to spend some time researching and figuring out if your idea can float. This is really about making sure that you have an idea that's worth turning into a book and that it's going to last, that you're going to want to stick with it all this time. After you've figured out your purpose and your idea, what is your message? What is the message that you want to share with the world? What is the top line, 30,000-foot view? What is one sentence that describes your entire book? If you can't figure it out in one sentence, you need to go back to the drawing board and think again. You need to make this sentence as simple as possible. You need to really take the elements of the book and figure it out. When you think about writing a book and putting a title and a subtitle out there on the cover, your subtitle and your title too should really speak to what this book is about. You need to figure out what your message is, because you want the reader to be tapped into this from the beginning, that they know that they're going to have this lesson, that they're going to take something away from this. You want to give them insight and reason to want to keep reading. Just as you have a reason to keep writing, you want the reader to have a reason to keep reading. And you want to explain that to them very early in the process, so they know that this is all worth it. After you've figured out your message and you really want to dive into the writing, I want you to think about your writing flow. How do you get writing done? How do you get words onto the page? It could be anything, whether it's booking time and writing on your keyboard, on your laptop. It could be writing on your phone. It could be writing on a notebook with a pen and paper. It could be using voice-to-text transcription. You need to find whatever it is that's easiest for you to get the words out, to get the words onto the page, and you need to keep doing that again and again and again. You need to keep showing up and doing the work. But once you have a system down, it gets a whole lot easier. So if you can figure out your writing flow, if you can get into the space of saying, okay, I have 20 minutes, I'm going to go write 400 words on whatever, that's the kind of thing. I love writing sprints. I'm a big fan of writing sprints. A lot of times people think about spending more time on their writing, and I instead think about getting the most out of the time I am using. So if I'm only writing for 20 minutes, let me get some writing done. If I'm only writing for 30 minutes, let me get some writing done. Instead of thinking I need 2 hours to get anything done. No, 20 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes. How many sentences can I write in 5 minutes? Doesn't need to be perfect, doesn't need to be clean. I can always clean it and edit it later. It's really about getting the words down. And you can do that day by day by day by being consistent and by finding the time to get the words out. One of the biggest detractions, one of the biggest drawbacks, one of the things holding back book writing is focus. You need to be focused to do good book writing. Book writing is deep. This is not sending an email. This is something bigger. And you need every word to connect. You need every word to have purpose and meaning behind it. Every word matters. And it's so important as you think about that process of being focused in the moment, of right here, of knowing that your book has your undivided attention, that when you're devoted to it, you're spending all of your focus and all of your energy on this book. That's the best way that you can go about writing a book, is by having focus. And that means cutting out digital distractions. Every time you get an alert on your phone, every time you get a pop-up notification, think of that as 20 minutes. That's how long it typically takes for the brain to reset. You see an alert pop up. Oh, a bill is due. Okay, so now you go pay the bill. Now you're online. Now you go on Wikipedia. Now you check your email. Next thing you know, it's 20, 30 minutes later and you've accomplished nothing. You say, oh, what was I doing? Was I doing something? I don't know. I have to go, I'm hungry now. I'm going to go get something to eat. Complete waste of focus and time. You need to stay focused. By cutting out distractions, whether digital or otherwise, you're going to find a lot of momentum and success in the book writing process. That's so important. It's so important to celebrate the wins. And if we can celebrate a win of, I wrote 250 words today, or I wrote 1,000 words this week, doable things, it's super exciting. So the more that you can cut out digital distractions or finding the time to make the most of your effort, the more success you're going to have. My friend Chad often uses the phrase dirty draft when he thinks about the first draft. The first draft is not the final book, and it shouldn't be. The first draft is the first draft. It's so important to get the words down, the words onto the page, and it's so valuable to have that draft so you can say, okay, how can I fix it? How can I refine it? How can I make it better? When you think about making the book perfect, there's no perfect with book writing. There is none. Even great books. I have had a book with a starred review from Publishers Weekly that had a couple typos and mistakes in it. I've had 4 national bestsellers, and each of them had a flaw with them. Your book is never going to be perfect. There is no book that exists that's perfect. So please, just get it out of your mind. Yes, you can make it as good as possible. You can make it great, but perfect is the enemy of good. And you writing a good book is really, really good. It's a really challenging thing. It's a special thing. Don't worry about making it perfect, especially in that early draft. Get the words down. You can refine it later. But I think there's so much insecurity and imposter syndrome around books, thinking, I'm not good enough. Why am I writing a book? Why do I deserve to write a book? You're writing a book because you're the best person to write the book that you have in your heart. That's it. That's all you have to focus on. Are there better people than you to write a book? Maybe. Are they writing a book? Who cares? It doesn't matter. All that matters is you're writing a book that resonates to you, that you're best suited to write. You're writing the book that is in your heart, and who cares about anybody else? It's so easy to get distracted and thrown off by what everybody else is doing. Writing a book is a singular pursuit. It is you against the elements of commercialism, the elements of greatness, the elements of storytelling, the elements of you against yourself. We self-sabotage all the time, and we get in the way of our greatness. Stop getting in the way of your greatness. Let your message out, share your message with the world, and spread it widely. It's so special when you can share your message with the world, and yet we hold our stories back. We hold back our greatness. We let other people get the glory instead of us. It's time for you to put your book out there and believe in yourself and believe in your message, and good things are going to happen. If you want to learn more about the process of writing a book, there's a writing course that I'd love for you to check out. It's my Good Book Accountability course. I meet weekly with a series of authors, and we talk about different book topics and the ups and downs we're facing and the challenges, and learn new lessons. And it's just an awesome time, and I'd love for you to check it out. It's at goodbookmastery.com. You can click the link below. And just keep in mind, a good book can change your life. It really can. I'm Dan Good. Thanks for watching.